What am I most proud of? Probably, in a way, all of them, because they were very definite parts of my life. I started life as a runner and, very privileged to have broken world records and got to Olympic Games. And that, in large part, defined, in a way, who I was. Then I had a period away and went into politics for the best part of 10 or 12 years. I was a member of parliament, I was a minister for a short period of time. I was then chief of staff in the party to William Hague. And then I came out of politics and in a way went back into sport. Not that I was expecting it, but then I was asked by the Prime Minister to chair the bid for the London Olympic and Paralympic Games. I then got that across the line and ended up chairing the Organising Committee. If you really pressed me, I think probably the thing that I was most proud about was being part of a team to deliver the best Olympic Games ever. And we can now say that because we don't have to be kind about every other Olympic Games, which is, they're all different, they're all great, but I do actually happen to think London, for all sorts of reasons, really raised the bar. The most challenging responsibility I probably had was and is the presidency of World Athletics, which in a way, if you'd said to me in my vintage I would be given the chance, having won Olympic titles and broken world records, to be in a position 40-something years later to be shaping the future of my sport, the largest Olympic sport, the greatest participatory sport, and the sport that has the most potential to sit alongside health organisations and environmental organisations as a sport with a responsibility and a conscience. I think that probably is the most challenging, but the thing that probably made me most proud was, because it was on behalf of the whole nation, was being a part of the team that delivered the Olympic Games. If you look back on my career, most people remember the big head-to-heads, and around the Moscow Olympics it was Steve Ovett, probably one of the most naturally talented athletes that I'd ever competed against. And then the next generation came through while I was still an athlete, and that was Steve Cram. Again, extraordinarily talented. Two very different people with two very different mindsets and two very different skill sets on the track. One was, blisteringly fast, the other one was really strong. So I then had to deal with Steve, and then of course towards the end of that then there was a next generation coming through of people like Peter Elliott and the other athletes around that. So it was a very competitive decade, and if you look at the history of our sport, there was no middle distance title that wasn't held by somebody from the United Kingdom pretty much between 1978 and 1990, which is an extraordinary length of time for one nation to dominate two distances. Oh, my favourite thing about the Olympic Games is just seeing people enjoying sport at its very highest level. I love the fact that if the Games is being used properly, it's already creating opportunities in the city that it wouldn't have had for young people if the Games hadn't been there. And I think Tokyo will be fantastic. I sit on the Coordination Commission, which is really an independent group of people that monitor the progress that the city is making. They will be a phenomenally exciting Games. The Japanese really have mastered and consistently master the project management around the delivery of the Games. They've had the Games since they've had the Games in 1964, which again were huge. And I think technology, I think innovation, I think broadcast, and the fact that Japan is a very welcoming country. I think the athletes will really enjoy being there, and I know the Organising Committee will really focus on the welfare of the athletes.